page 22.1, chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 1. The Indian Parliament. 1A. The Council of States. The Indian Parliament, Article 79 says, consists of the President and the two houses. A. The Council of States, the upper house, and B. the House of People, the lower or the popular house. The total strength of the Council of States is 250, out of which 12 members are nominated by the President with special knowledge or practical experience in respect of literature, science, art and social service. B. The remaining 238 representatives of the states and the union territories are elected in accordance with the provisions prescribed in the 4th schedule, that is, to be elected by the respective state legislative assemblies on the basis of the population of the states. Larger the state, more are its representatives in the Council of States. Smaller the state, less are its representatives in the Council of States. Within bracket, Uttar Pradesh 31 representatives, Maharashtra 19, Sikkim and Manipur 1, Sikkim 1 for example. At present there are 245 members in the Council of States, 233 from the states and 12 nominated by the President. Article 83 makes it clear that the Council of States is not to be dissolved, but 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years. In accordance with Article 84, the qualifications for a Council of States within bracket Rajya Sabha member are that the member should be a citizen of India, be not less than 30 years of age, and C. should possess such other qualifications as may be prescribed by the Parliament. 1B. The House of the People. The House of the People, also called the Lok Sabha, is the lower or popular house, directly elected by the people. Its total strength is 552. 530 members are to be chosen from the states, 20 members are to be chosen from the union territories, and 2 to be nominated by the President if he is satisfied that the Anglo-Indian community has not been properly represented. Here also, larger the state, more are its members in the House of the People within bracket Article 80. Article 83 prescribes the tenure of the House of the People as 5 years unless dissolved earlier. During the emergency, its tenure can be extended for a period not exceeding 1 year. Article 84 describes the qualifications of the members of the House of the People, which are similar to those of the Council of States, except that for the member of the House of the People, the minimum age has to be 25 years. Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislature. 1B, the House of the People, continued, page 22.2. 1C, disqualifications and vacation of seats. A person shall be disqualified for being elected to be a member of Parliament within bracket C Article 102. A. If he holds any office of profit under the Government of India or the Government of any state other than an office declared by Parliament by law, not to disqualify its holder. B. If he is of unsound mind and stands so declared by a competent court. C. If he is an undischarged insolvent. And D. If he is not a citizen of India or has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of a foreign state or is under any acknowledgement of allegiance or adherence to a foreign state. C. If he is so disqualified by or under any law made by Parliament. Though the representatives of the people Act within bracket 1951, the Parliament specified certain other disqualifications as well. One should not be guilty of election offences, imprisonment of 2 or more years, should not have been dismissed from the government services, should not have been guilty of inciting communal feelings, should not have been preaching or practicing untouchability. In addition to the above, disqualification would follow if one has violated the defection law within bracket 10 schedule bracket close, absented himself for a period of 60 days from the meetings of either of the two houses without permission within bracket article 101 bracket close. The seat of the members of the parliament is considered to be vacant if one has dual membership in the parliament, or if one's election is declared void by any court, or if one is expelled by the house. 1D. Presiding officers of parliament. The speaker presides over the meetings of the House of the People within bracket article 94, and the vice president as the ex officio chairman presides over the meetings of the Council of States within bracket article 89. The Council of States elects its deputy chairman, and the House of the People elects speaker and deputy speaker for conducting the proceedings of the respective houses. The deputy chairman presides over the meetings of the Council of States in the absence of the chairman. Likewise, the deputy speaker presides over the meetings of the House of People in the absence of the speaker. There is a provision for the office of the speaker pro tem, who is appointed by the president and is usually the senior-most members of the House of the People after the general elections. After the speaker is elected, speaker pro tem vacates his office. This is done in the first sitting of the House of the People after it is continued following the general elections. The presiding officers of the Houses of Parliament supervise the legislative proceedings, maintain decorum and discipline in the House, interpret the rules of proceedings and parliamentary proceedings, adjourn the House in the absence of the quorum, exercise their casting vote. 1E. Houses, they are working. The two chambers of the Parliament function in a manner as described by rules and regulations. They observe traditions and work through their officials. The usual practices in the Parliament can be briefly stated as under. Officials. There is a leader of the House in the House of the People, within bracket Lok Sabha, usually the Prime Minister. There is the leader of the House in the Council of States, usually Minister of Cabinet rank. The deputies leaders of the houses are also nominated. These leaders of the houses had helped conduct business in the house. In each house, there is the leader of the opposition, usually the leader of the largest opposition party, one who provides a constructive criticism of the policies of the government. Each political party in each house of the Parliament controls their respective party members through their appointed officials called the party whip. Party whip is charged with the responsibility of ensuring the attendance of the party members in large numbers and securing their support in favor of or against a particular issue. He regulates and monitors their behavior in the Parliament. The members are supposed to follow the directives given by the whip, otherwise disciplinary action can be taken. Exercise 22. The legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 1E. Houses, they are working continuing. Page 22.3. Sessions of Parliament. Summoning of the sessions of the Parliament is done by the President, Article 85. He can prorogue either House of the Parliament. He also has the power to dissolve the Houses of the People, usually on the advice of the Prime Minister, but not of that Prime Minister who has lost confidence of the House. The Constitution says that 6 months should not lapse between the last sitting of the first meeting and the first sitting of the second meeting of the House. Adjournment means suspending work. When suspension of the work is done for a specified time, say a few hours, days or weeks, it is called adjournment. But when it is done without specifying definite time, it is called adjournment sine die. Both types of adjournment are called by the presiding officers of the House. Houses. Prorogation means terminating the sittings for the period of session, but it is done by the President without affecting the fate of the bills pending before the House. Dissolution is termination of the House for the period of its regular tenure. It means new elections. This is done by the President, and that to the dissolution of the House of the People. The Council of States is not dissolved. In case the House of the People is dissolved, the position with respect to the pending bill is given as follows. 1. A bill pending in the Lok Sabha lapses, whether originating in the Lok Sabha or transmitted to it by the Rajya Sabha. Bracket close. 2. A bill passed by the Lok Sabha but pending in the Rajya Sabha lapses. 3. A bill not passed by two houses due to disagreement, and if the President has notified the holding of a joint sitting before the dissolution of Lok Sabha does not lapse. 4. A bill pending in the Rajya Sabha but not passed by the Lok Sabha does not lapse. 5. A bill passed by both houses but pending assent of the President does not lapse. 6. A bill passed by both houses but returned by the President for reconsideration of houses does not lapse. Quorum of each house is 1/10 of its total membership. Devices of the parliamentary proceedings. Categories of questions are: A. Start question. These questions have to be answered orally on the floor of the House. They carry an asterisk mark. B. Unstarred questions. These questions are answered in a written form. They do not carry the asterisk mark. C. Short notice questions. These questions pertain to matters of urgent public importance and can be asked with notice of less than 10 days. Question hour. The first hour of every sitting in both houses of Parliament is known as the question hour. During question hour, the members of the Parliament have the right to question any administrative and governmental policy related to the national as well as the international sphere. The questions asked in both the houses of Parliament are generally addressed to the ministers. These questions can be categorized as start questions, unstarred questions and short notice questions. A member has to give notice to the Secretary General of the concerned house that he wants to ask a question. 0 hour. It denotes the time immediately following the question hour. 0 hour. It denotes the time. It denotes the time immediately following the question hour in both houses of Parliament. It starts at 12 noon. It came to be called an hour within inverted comma. Also because very often it continued for 1 full hour until the House rises for lunch at 1 p.m. However, the duration of the 0 hour has varied over the years. It is not possible to predict what kind of matters might be raised during 0 hour, and as there is no mention of any 0 hour in the rules of the Parliament, it is Press who coined the term 0 hour during the early 1960s, when the practice of raising urgent matter of public importance without prior notice developed. Page 22.4, Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. 1E, Houses, their workings. Devices of the parliamentary proceedings. Half an hour discussion. Half an hour discussion can be held on a matter of sufficient public importance which has been the subject of recent questions in the Lok Sabha. Usually the discussions take place in the first half. Usually the discussions take place in the last half an hour on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. In one session, a member is allowed to raise not more than two half an hour discussions, motions. A member may introduce motion in the form of a proposal. It is thus a proposal for eliciting decision or expressing the opinion of the House on a matter of public importance. Every question to be decided by the House must be proposed as motion. The consent of the Speaker or the Chairman is also essential to initiate a motion. A motion passes through 4 stages. 1. Moving the motion. 2. Proposing the question by the Speaker or the Chairperson. 3. Debate or discussion where permissible. And 4. Vote or decision of the House. Government motions generally aim at obtaining approval of the House for some policy or action of the government. But motions moved by private members focus on eliciting opinion of the House on a particular matter. Motions fall into 3 principal categories: substantive, substitute, subsidiary. A substitute motion is moved in lieu of the original motion. It proposes an alternative to the original motion. A subsidiary motion is related to other motions or follow up on some proceedings in the House. Subsidiary motions by themselves have no meaning and are not capable of starting the decision of the House without reference to the original motion of the House. Subsidiary motions are further divided into 3 categories: 1. Ancillary motions, 2. Superseding motions, and 3. Amendments. Call attention motion. It is the right of every member with prior consent of the Speaker or the chairman to call the attention of a minister on any matter of urgent public importance. This unique Indian concept of calling attention allows members to highlight failure or inadequate action of government on any important matter of public importance. This procedural device is similar to an adjournment motion without its censure aspect. The minister is allowed to make a brief statement or request a later date for making a statement. Adjournment motions. In parliamentary parlance, within inverted comma, adjournment signifies a break or termination of the debate on a motion, resolution, deed in the House. Adjournment of the House terminates the sitting of the House. It may also signify a brief break during a sitting of the House. Adjournment sine die means termination of the sitting without any definite date being fixed for its next sitting. No day yet named motion. If the Speaker admits notice of a motion but no date is fixed for its introduction, then it is called a no day yet named motion. These are placed before the Business Advisory Committee, which selects the motions for discussion in the Houses and also allots time for the same. The government motions get precedence over the private members' motions as no day yet named motions, inverted comma close, are discussed in government time. No confidence motion. The changing political composition of the Parliament has led to a new procedure known as the motion of confidence in the Council of Ministers. This practice has evolved in recent times and takes place whenever no single political party is in a position to command the majority of the House. The procedure followed is as follows. A one-line motion under Rule 184 within inverted comma that this House expresses its confidence in the Council of Ministers is moved by the Prime Minister on the direction of the President. Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. 1E, Houses, their workings, devices of parliamentary proceedings. Continued, page 22.5. The Council of Ministers remain in office as long as it enjoys the confidence of Lok Sabha. If the Lok Sabha expresses a lack of confidence in the Council of Ministers, the government is constitutionally bound to resign In order to ascertain the confidence, the rules provide for moving a motion to this effect, which is called a no confidence motion. A motion of no confidence, once admitted, has to be taken up within 10 days of the leave being granted. Rajya Sabha is not empowered to entertain a motion of no confidence. Censure motion. A censure motion is a distinct type of a no confidence motion. While a motion of a no confidence need not specify any grounds on which it is based, a censure motion must reveal the grounds on which it is based. This type of motion is moved for the specific purposes of censoring the government for certain policies and actions. Censure motion can be moved against the Council of Ministers or an individual minister for the failure to act or not to act, or for their policy, and may express regret, indignation or surprise of the House at the failure of the minister. 1F. Bills and legislative procedures in the Parliament. Bill. The draft of a legislative proposal is known as a bill. No bill, whether it is introduced by the government or a private member, can become law or act of Parliament until it has received the assent of the President of India. Broadly, there are two types of bills. 1. Government bills. A bill is known as a government bill if it is initiated by the government. 2. Private members' bills. If the bill is sponsored by any private member, within bracket a member who is not part of the Council of Ministers, is referred to as a private member, bracket closed, in either House of Parliament, it is known as a private member's bill. Although most laws are made through government bills, the private members' bills serves the purpose of highlighting any changes needed in the existing law or the need for a particular legislation. Bill may be further classified on the basis of their content. The classification is as follows. A. Ordinary bills. Any bill which is not a constitution amendment bill or a money bill is classified as an ordinary bill. The following are the different types of ordinary bills. 1. Original bills within bracket embodying new proposals, ideas or policies. 2. Amending bills within bracket to modify, amend or revise existing acts. 3. Consolidating bills within bracket to consolidate existing law on a particular subject, bracket closed. 4. Expiring laws within bracket continuance bills. 2. Within bracket to continue an expiring act, bracket closed. And 5. Bills to replace ordinances issued by the President. B. Money and financial bills. Money and financial bills are treated separately from these bills because of their special features. C. The Constitution within bracket amendment, bracket closed bills. These refer to bills that seek to amend the Constitution. An ordinary bill has to pass through different stages before it becomes a law. In both the houses, the bill goes through. First reading. During the first reading, the bill is introduced by the minister in charge after the Speaker grants permission to do so. The bill is then published in the Gazette of India. If the bill has already been published in the Gazette with the Speaker's assent, the stage of introducing the bill in the House can be bypassed. Second reading. The second reading is the most vital stage for the bill because it is scrutinized thoroughly during the period. This reading is divided into two stages. Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 1E, Houses, their workings. The Constitution Amendment Bills. Continued, page 22.6. The first stage. At this stage, only the proposals of the bill are discussed. There is no in-depth discussion about the details of the bill. The bill may be referred to a select committee of Lok Sabha, to a joint committee of the houses with the concurrence of Rajya Sabha, and or it may be circulated for the purpose of eliciting opinion. These committees are appointed on a temporary basis in order to consider particular bills referred to them. At this time, either of the two houses might refer the bill to departmentally related joint standing committee of both the houses. This committee also considers the bill clause by clause, and its members can move amendments to various clauses. The committee can also take evidence of experts, associations or public bodies who are interested in the subject. After each clause and Pierce report, this report is presented to the House for its consideration. Eliciting opinion. If a motion is passed in the Parliament that a bill should be circulated to elicit the opinions of local bodies, associations, individuals or institutions, the Secretariat of the House circulate letters to all the state governments and union territories asking them to publish the bill to their respective local gazettes. The period for eliciting opinion is generally mentioned in the motion. If no mention is made, the state governments have to send the opinions within 3 months of adopting the motion. The opinions are then tabled in Parliament. The bill again passes through the committee stages. At this point, the House can debate on the bill as reported by the committee. The debate is confined to the bill as reported by the committee. The second stage, after the House decides to debate the bill as reported by the committee, the members discuss each clause of the bill separately. They can also amend the clauses. This is a long process which each clause and amendment is discussed, adopted or rejected by the House. If an amendment is accepted, it becomes a part of the bill. Third reading. At this stage, the bill is discussed solely to determine whether to approve or reject it. Only certain verbal, formal and consequential amendments are allowed to be moved at this stage. In order to pass an ordinary bill, the simple majority of members present and voting is required. Once the bill has been approved by the originating house, it is sent to the other house. It goes through all the 3 stages again. In case a bill is passed by the originating house but rejected by the other house, the President has the power to call a joint meeting of the 2 houses. The decision to accept or reject a bill is taken by the majority of the total number of members or both houses present at the meeting, houses present and voting. After both houses of Parliament passes a bill, it is presented to the President for his assent. If the President does not agree to sign the bill, he can send the bill to the originating house with his suggestion. If the 2 houses of the Parliament pass the bill again, with or without incorporating the suggestion of the President, he has to give his assent. However, the President generally acts on the advice of the Council of Ministers, so he generally does not withhold his consent. He has the right to seek information and clarification about the bill. If the President gives his assent, the bill becomes an act. Money bill. According to the Constitution of India, Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Page 22.7, Money Bill. According to the Constitution of India, within bracket Article 110, a bill is considered to be a money bill if it contains only provisions dealing with all and any of the following matters. A. The imposition, abolition, remission, alteration or regulation of any tax. B. The regulation of money borrowed by the Government of India or any guarantee given by the Government of India. The bill can also consider amendment of the law with respect to any financial obligations undertaken or to be undertaken by the Government of India. C. The custody of the consolidated fund of the constituents or the contingency fund of India, the payment of monies into or the withdrawal of monies from any such fund. D. The appropriation of monies out of the consolidated fund of India. C. The declaring of a new item to be expenditure charged on the consolidated fund of India. Also, if there is any increase at the amount of any such expenditure. The receipt of money on account of the consolidated fund of India, or the public account of India, or the custody or the issue of such money, or the audit of the accounts of the union or of a state. Or G. Any matter incidental to any of the matters specified in sub-clause A to F. The money bill can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha on the recommendations of the President. However, the Speaker of the House has the final authority to decide whether a bill is a money bill or not. A money bill cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha, nor can it be referred to a joint committee of houses to be considered as a joint meeting of the two houses. Once a money bill is passed in the Lok Sabha, it is sent to the Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha may not amend money bills but can recommend amendments. A money bill should be returned to the Lok Sabha within 14 days or the bill is deemed to have passed by both houses in the form it was originally passed by the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha has the direct discretion to accept or reject the recommended amendments made by the Rajya Sabha. The President does not have the power to return the money bill for reconsideration. He has to give his assent to the money bill as passed by the Parliament. Financial bill. Any bill relating to revenue or expenditure is a financial bill. Those bills which make provisions for any of the matters specified in the money bills but do not contain solely those matters are known as finance bills. For example, a bill contains taxation clause but does not deal solely with taxation. Finance bill also includes matters involving expenditure from the consolidated fund. The difference between money bill and a finance bill is merely technical. All financial bills are not money bills. A financial bill is considered to be a money bill solely when it contains matters specified in the Constitution for a money bill. Only those financial bills should be considered as money bill which are certified by the Speaker. A financial bill which contains any matter specified for a money bill but does not deal exclusively with such matters has two features in common with a money bill. A. It cannot be introduced in the Rajya Sabha. B. It cannot be introduced except on the recommendations of the President. But if the bill is not classified as a money bill, the Rajya Sabha has full powers to reject or amend it, as it does in case of ordinary bill. In case of disagreement over a bill between the houses, the President can call for a joint meeting to resolve the deadlock. A financial bill which involves expenditure from the consolidated fund of India is treated in the same manner as the ordinary bill. Hence, it can be introduced in both the houses and the Rajya Sabha has full power to reject or amend it. It also does not require the recommendations of the President for its introduction. However, the President's recommendation is necessary before the bill can be passed by both the houses. Page 22.8. Exercise 22. The legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Appropriation Bill. As the name suggests, the Appropriation Bill seeks to give legal authority to the government to appropriate expenditure from the consolidated fund of India. The Constitution says that no money can be withdrawn from the consolidated fund without the enactment of law by the Parliament. A bill that incorporates all the demands for grants voted by the Lok Sabha as well as the expenditures charged on the consolidated fund is introduced in the Lok Sabha. This bill is known as the Appropriation Bill. It is passed in the same manner as any other bills, but no amendments can be proposed to the bills. After the bill is passed by the Lok Sabha, the Speaker certifies it as a money bill. Rajya Sabha can make recommendations over the bill, but it does not have the power to amend or reject the bill. Thereafter, the bill is presented to the President for his assent. Finance Bill. The Finance Bill incorporates all the financial proposals of the government for the following years. It is ordinarily introduced in the Lok Sabha every year, immediately after the budget is presented. Discussions on the bill are restricted to matters relating to general administration and local grievances within the sphere of responsibility of the Union government. No discussion is permitted on the details of the particular estimates. This bill has to be considered and passed by the Parliament and assented to by the President within 75 days after its introduction. This bill is certified as a money bill. Thus, Rajya Sabha can only make recommendations to the bill. It is up to the Lok Sabha to accept or reject such recommendations. 1G. Budget in the Parliament. A budget is an annual financial statement close, or an estimate of receipts and expenditure of the Government of India. It is presented for the ensuing financial year, which at present begins on the 1st of April every year. The budget includes the essential inflows and outflows of the government for 3 years. It gives the actual expenditure for the preceding year, the revised estimates for the current year, and the budget estimates for the next year. The pre-budget economic survey is prepared by the Finance Ministry. The survey studies the overall economic development in the country. It mainly focuses on areas like banking and capital markets, prices, industry, agriculture and infrastructure. Other topics include trends in gross domestic products, GDP, demand and supply factors, fiscal developments, to name a few. The overall responsibility of preparing the budget rests with the budget division within the finance ministry. The division takes cognizance of the availability of funds as well as the proposals from the numerous departments and ministries. It also consults the Comptroller and Auditor General. The budget, however, needs the final approval of the Prime Minister before it can be presented in the Lok Sabha. The President decides on which day the budget is to be presented. By convention, it is presented on the last day of February. The budget is presented in two parts. One, railway budget pertaining to railway finance. Two, general budget, which gives an overall picture of the financial position of the Government of India, excluding the railways. The railway budgets and the general budget are presented in the Lok Sabha by the Minister of Railways and the Finance Minister, respectively. The speech announcing the general budget is divided into two parts. The legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Page 22.9. 1G. Budget in the Parliament. Part A. Dealing with the general economic survey of the country, and Part B. Containing the taxation proposals for the ensuing financial year. Following the budget presentation, the annual financial statement relating to the Government of India, within bracket duly authenticated by the Finance Minister, bracket closed, is laid on the table. Also, the Finance Bill is introduced at this time. The procedure of the approval of the general budgets involves numerous steps. These are: A. Presentation of the budget. The Finance Minister introduces the budget in the Lok Sabha in February with a speech giving an overview of the budget. A copy of the budget is laid on the table of the Rajya Sabha at the conclusion of the Finance Minister's speech in the Lok Sabha. There is no discussion on the budget on the day on which it is presented. B. Discussion on the budget. The Parliament allots some time for discussion after the presentation. The budget is discussed in two stages: the general discussion followed by a detailed discussion and voting on demands for grants. Besides, there are other opportunities for further discussions on financial proposals during consideration and passing of appropriation bills and finance bill. The Rajya Sabha is restricted to discussing the budget in general terms. Voting on demands. After the prescribed period of debate is over, the Speaker uses his power to stop all discussions and put all outstanding demands for grants to vote. This power is known as guillotine within inverted comma. Voting on demands is the exclusive power of the Lok Sabha. Demands for grants are subjected to cart motions by the members of the Lok Sabha. D. Appropriation Bill. The bill is introduced after all demands for grants are passed by the Lok Sabha. The bill paves the way for the enactment of Appropriation Act and is certified as a money bill. It allows the government to withdraw money from the Consolidated Fund of India. E. Finance Bill. This bill includes all taxation proposals including any amendments and paves the way for enacting the finance bill. A brief discussion of 1. Vote on account, demands for grants, and 3. The types of cut motions is given below. 1. Vote on account. If the budget is not approved by the 1st April or the current financial year, the Indian Constitution allows the Lok Sabha to grant a vote on account. Generally, the passage of the budget process the beginning of the financial year and it becomes necessary for the government to have enough funds to run the administration of the country. Thus, vote on account is a special provision which empowers the Lok Sabha to make any grant in advance for a part of any financial year pending the completion of the budgetary process. Normally, the vote on account is granted for 2 months for a sum equivalent to 1/6 of the estimated expenditure for the entire year under the various demands for grants. During an election year, the vote on account may exceed that time. This provision is invoked once the general discussion on the budget is over and before the discussion on demands for grants is taken up. In the case of railway budget, which is passed before 31st March, no vote on account is needed except during an election year. 2. Demand for grants. Demands for grants can be defined as requests made by the executive to the Lok Sabha for the authority to spend the amount asked for. Thus, they are related to the expenditure part of the budget. The demands have to be made in the form of motions. Members may disapprove a policy pursued by a ministry or suggest measures for economy in the administration or focus attention of the ministry to specific local grievances. Members can do so by moving subsidiary motions called cut motions. Page 22.10, 3, Chapter 22, the legislatures in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 1G, Budget in the Parliament. Types of cut motions. There are 3 types of cut motions. These are disapproval of policy cut. This is the most drastic of them all because it says within inverted comma that the amount of demand be reduced to ₹1 inverted comma close. A member of parliament has to give precise reasons for such a cut. Economy cut. This motion means that a member would like to reduce expenditure by making a specific cut in the grant demanded. This form of this motion is within inverted comma that the amount of demand be reduced to rupees dash 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 within inverted comma. Token cut. This motion is widely used by members. Its object is to voice a particular grievance for which the Government of India is responsible. The motion says that the amount of the demand be reduced to ₹100. Hence, cart motions are tools to initiate discussions on demands for grants. Once the discussion have taken place, the cart motions are disposed of. Thereafter, the demands for grants are put to vote of the House. 1H. Powers and functions of the Indian Parliament. The two houses of the Indian Parliament perform important functions and exercise significant powers. Legislative powers and functions of the Parliament extend to its making laws on the subjects contained in the Union List, concurrent list and the residuary subjects. In certain cases, the Parliament can make laws on the subjects on the state list. The two houses have co-equal legislative powers. An ordinary bill can originate in any of the houses, but to become a law, it must be passed by both the houses. In the event of a difference between the two houses on any ordinary bill, the President under Article 108 may convene the joint meetings of the two houses within bracket to be presided over by the Speaker of the Houses of the People, bracket closed, and the decision may be taken by a majority of the total members of both houses present and voting. The Council of States has the exclusive powers under Article 249 and 312 to authorize the Parliament to make laws. 1. On a subject in the state list. 2. To create a new All India service. Executive powers and functions of the Parliament include Parliament's control over the ministers by asking questions, supplementary questions and passing adjournment motions. It is the House of the People which can force the Council of Ministers to resign by passing a vote of no confidence. The financial powers of the House of the People are more than those of the Council of States. A money bill originates in the House of the People first, and after it is passed from here, it goes to the Council of States, which has a 14 days period to consider the money bill. The Council of States can send the money bill back to the House of the People with its recommendations. The House of the People may accept or reject the recommendations, and its decision to the effect means passing of the money bill from both the houses within bracket Article 109. The electoral powers and functions of the two houses are by and large equal. Both participate in the elections of the President and the Vice President. Vice President. Amending the constitutions, the two houses possess co-equal powers as they do in approving the emergency provisions. By way of conclusion, it may be stated that the House of the People, by being a popularly elected house, has an advantage over the Council of States, though the latter has exclusive powers with respect to Articles 249 and 312. Chapter 22. The Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. Page 22.11. 1I. Committees of the Parliament. The two houses of the Parliament work through committees. There are committees in each house, and there are joint committees of the two houses, and also committees exclusively of the House of the People. Ad hoc and standing committee. Parliamentary committees are of two kinds: ad hoc committees and the standing committees. Ad hoc committee are appointed for a specific purpose, and they cease to exist when they finish the task assigned to them and submit a report. The principal ad hoc committees are the select and joint committees on bills. Others, like the Railway Convention Committee, the contributions on the draft 5-year. I repeat, the principal ad hoc committees are the select and joint committees on bills. Others, like the Railway Convention Committee, the committees on the draft 5-year plans and the Hindi Equivalence Committee, were appointed for specific purposes. Apart from the ad hoc committees, each House of Parliament has standing committees like the Business Advisory Committee, the Committee on Petitions, the Committee on Privileges and the Rules Committee, etc. Some of the committees are: 1. Select and joint committees. When a bill comes up before a house for general discussion, it is open to that house to refer it to a select committee of the house or a joint committee of the two houses. A motion has to be moved and adopted to this effect in the house in which the bill comes up for consideration. In case the motion adopted is for reference of the bill to a joint committee, the decision is conveyed to the other house, requesting them to nominate member of the other house to serve on the committee. The select or joint committee considers the bill clause by clause just as the two houses do. Amendments can be moved to various clauses by the members of the committee. The committee can also take evidence of associations, public bodies or experts who are interested in the bill. After the bill has thus been considered, the committee submits a report to the House. Members who do not agree with the majority report may append their minutes of dissent to the report. 2. Committee on Estimates. This committee consists of 30 members who are elected by the Lok Sabha every year from amongst its members. A minister is not eligible for election to this committee. The term of the committee is 1 year. The main function of the committee on estimates is to report what economies, improvements in organization, efficiency I repeat, the main function of the Committee on Estimates is to report what economies, improvements in organization, efficiency or administrative reform consistent with the policy underlining the estimates may be effective, and to suggest alternative policies in order to bring about efficiency and economy in administration. From time to time, the committee selects such estimates pertaining to a ministry or a group of ministries or the statutory and other government bodies as may seem fit to the committee. The committee also examines matters of specific interest which may arise or come to light in the course of its work, or which are specifically referred to it by the House or the Speaker. 3. Committee on Public Undertakings. The Committee on Public Undertakings consists of 15 members elected by the Lok Sabha and 7 members of Rajya Sabha are associated with it. A minister is not eligible for election to the committee. The term of the committee is 1 year. The functions of the Committee on Public Undertakings are: A. To examine the reports and accounts of public undertakings. B. To examine the pay reports, if any, the Comptroller and Auditor General on the public undertaking. C. Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. C. Page 22.11, page 22.12. Page 22.12 is now read. C. To examine in the context of the autonomy and efficiency of the public undertakings whether the affairs of the public undertakings are being managed in accordance with the annual sound business principles and prudent commercial practices. And D. Such other functions vested in the Committee on Public Accounts and the Committee on Estimates in relation to the public undertakings as are not covered by clauses A, B and C above, and as may be allotted to the committee by the Speaker from time to time. The committee does not, however, examine matters of major government policy and matters of day-to-day administration of the undertakings. Page 22.12, Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 1H, powers and functions of the Indian Parliament. Sorry. Ad hoc and standing committees. This is under the head ad hoc and standing committees. Continue. Page 22.12. 4. Committees on Public Accounts. The committee consists of 15 members elected by the Lok Sabha and 7 members of the Rajya Sabha are associated with it. A minister is not eligible for election to this committee. The term of the committee is 1 year. The main duty of the committee is to ascertain whether the money granted by Parliament has been spent by government within the scope of the demand, clause. The appropriation accounts of the Government of India and the audit reports presented by the Comptroller and Auditor General mainly form the basis of the examination of the committee. Cases involving losses, nugatory expenditure and financial irregularities come in for service criticism by the committee. The committee is not concerned with questions of policy. It is concerned only with the execution of the policy laid down by the Parliament and its results. 5. Business Advisory Committee Lok Sabha. The Business Advisory Committee of Lok Sabha consists of 15 members including the Speaker, who is the ex officio chairman. The members are nominated by the Speaker. Almost all sections of houses are represented on the committee as per the respective strength of parties in the House. The function of the committee is to recommend the time that should be allotted for the discussion of such government, legislative and other business as the Speaker, in consultation with the Leader of the House, may direct to be referred to the committee. The committee, on its own initiative, may also recommend to the government to bring forward particular subjects for discussion in the House and recommend allocation of time for such discussions. The decisions reached by the committee are always unanimous in character and representative of the collective view of the House. The committee generally meets at the beginning of each session and thereafter as and when necessary. 6. Committee on Private Members' Bill and Resolutions Lok Sabha. This committee consists of 15 members and the Deputy Speaker is its chairman when nominated as a member of the committee. The committee is nominated by the Speaker. The functions of the committee are to allot time to private members' bills and resolutions, to examine private members' bills seeking to amend the constitution before their introduction in Lok Sabha, to examine all private members' bills after they are introduced and before they are taken up for consideration in the House, and to classify them according to their nature, urgency and importance into two categories, namely Category A and Category B, and also to examine such private members' bills where the legislative competence of the House is challenged. The committee thus performs the same function in relation to private members' bills and resolutions as the Business Advisory Committee does in regard to government business. The committee holds office for a term not exceeding 1 year. 7. Rules Committee Lok Sabha. The Rules Committee consists of 15 members, including the Speaker, who is the ex officio chairman of the committee. The members are nominated by the Speaker. The committee considers matters of procedure and conduct of business in the House and recommends any amendments or additions to the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha that are considered necessary. Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. Ad hoc and Standing Committees. 8. Committee, page 22.13. Ad hoc committees. 8. Committee on Privileges Lok Sabha. The committee consists of 15 members nominated by the Speaker. The function is to examine every question involving breach of privilege of the House or of the members of any committee thereof referred to it by the House or by the Speaker. It determines the reference to the facts of each case whether a breach of privilege is involved and makes suitable recommendations in its report. 9. Committee on Petitions Lok Sabha. The committee consists of 15 members nominated by the Speaker. A minister is not nominated to this committee. The function of the committee is to consider and report on petitions presented to the House. Besides, this also considers representations from individuals and associations, etc., on subjects which are not covered by the rules relating to petitions and gives directions for their disposal. 10. Committee on Subordinate Legislation within bracket Lok Sabha. The committee consists of 15 members nominated by the Speaker. A minister is not nominated to this committee. The committee scrutinizes and reports to the House whether the powers to make regulations, rules, sub-rules, bylaws, etc., conferred by the constitutions or delegated by Parliament are being properly exercised by the executive within the scope of such delegation. 11. Committee on Government Assurance within bracket Lok Sabha. This committee consists of 15 members nominated by the Speaker. A minister is not nominated to this committee. While replying to questions in the House or during discussions on bills, resolutions, motions, etc., ministers at times give assurances or undertakings either to consider a matter or to take action or to furnish the House further information later. The functions of this committee are to scrutinize the assurance, promises, undertakings, etc., given by ministers from time to time and to report to Lok Sabha on the extent to which such assurance, etc., have been implemented and to see whether such implementation has taken place within the minimum time necessary for the purpose. 12. Joint Committee on Offices of Profit. This committee consists of 15 members. 10 members are elected from Lok Sabha and 5 from Rajya Sabha. The committee is constituted for the duration of each Lok Sabha. The main functions of the committee are to examine the composition and character of the committees appointed by the central and state governments and to recommend what offices should disqualify and what offices should not disqualify. A person for being chosen as and when I repeat, a person for being chosen as and for being a member of either House of Parliament under Article 102 of the Constitution. 13. Committee on the Welfare of Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes. The Committee on the Welfare of Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes consists of 20 members elected by the Lok Sabha, and 10 members of Rajya Sabha are associated with it. The term of the committee is 1 year. A minister is not eligible for election to the committee. The main function of the committee are to consider all matters concerning the welfare of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes falling within the purview of the Union Government and Union Territories, to consider the report submitted by the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes and to examine the measures taken by the Union Government to secure due representation of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in services and posts under its control. 14. Railway Convention Committee. The Railway Convention Committee is an ad hoc committee. It consists of 18 members. Out of these, 12 members are from Lok Sabha nominated by the Speaker and 6 members are from Rajya Sabha nominated by the Chairman. By convention, the Ministers of Finance and Minister of Railways are members of the committee. Besides this, Ministers of State in the Ministry of Finance and Minister of Railway respectively are also its members. The main function of the committee is to review the rate of dividend payable by the railway undertaking to general revenues as well as other ancillary matters in connection with the railway finance vis-a-vis the general finance and make recommendations thereon. 15. Committee on Empowerment of Women. This committee came into being on April 29, 1997 as a consequence of identical resolutions adopted by both the Houses of Parliament on the occasion of International Women's Day on March 8, 1996. The committee consists of 30 members, 20 nominated by the Speaker from amongst the member of Lok Sabha and 10 nominated by the Chairman Rajya Sabha from amongst the members of the Rajya Sabha. The term of the committee is of 1 year. The committee has been primarily mandated with the task of reviewing and monitoring the measures taken by the Union government in the direction of securing for women equality, status and dignity in all matters. 16. Departmentally related standing committees. A full-fledged system of 24 departmentally related standing committees came into being in April 1993. These committees cover under their jurisdiction all the ministries departments of the Government of India. These committees include Committee on Commerce, House Affairs, Industry, Energy, etc. Each of these standing committee consists of not more than 45 members, 30 to be nominated by the Speaker from amongst the members of the Lok Sabha and 15 to be nominated by the Chairman Rajya Sabha from amongst the members of Rajya Sabha. As a member is not eligible to be nominated to this committee. Each such committee has a term of 1 year. With reference to the ministries with oblique departments under their purview, the functions of these committees are: A. Consideration of demands for grants, B. Examination of the bills referred by the presiding officers of the two houses. Page 22.14, Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. 2. The state legislatures in India. In every state in India, there is a provision for a legislature, Article 168, which consists of the governor, and in the states of Andhra Pradesh, March 2007, 90 members, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, two houses, the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council, and in all the other states, one house, the Legislative Assembly. Article 169 provides for the abolition of the Legislative Council in the state where it is there, and for the creation of the Legislative Council in the state where it is not, by the Parliament. Resolution passed through a simple majority in each house on a representation by the concerned state to the President Article 3. There is proposal to have a Legislative Council in the state of Punjab. Article 170 says that the maximum number of the state legislative assembly can be 500 and the minimum 60. It is the house which is directly elected by the people whose tenure Article 172 is 5 years unless whose tenure Article 172 is 5 years unless dissolved earlier. The tenure can be extended for a maximum period of 1 year during emergency. The qualifications, the privileges and the disqualification measures of the members of the Legislative Assembly are by and large the same as those of members of the Lok Sabha. Article 171 says that the maximum number in the Legislative Council is 1/3 of the number of the Legislative Assembly and the minimum 40. The Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Council has 36 members, while Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh has 75, 63, 78 and 108 members respectively. The Legislative Council is considered as follows. 1/3 members are elected by the members of local bodies in the state by municipalities, district boards, etc. 2. 1/12 are elected by graduates of 3 years standing and residing within the state. 3. 1/12 are elected by teachers of 3 years standing in the state, not lower in standard than secondary school. 4. 1/3 are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly of the state from amongst the persons who are not members of the Assembly. And 5. The remainder are nominated by the governor from amongst the persons who have a special knowledge or practical experience of literature, science and art, cooperative movement and social service. Article 171. Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Page 22.15. Article 172 says that the Legislative Council is a permanent house and is not dissolved. Its members are elected for a period of 6 years, 1/3 retire every 2 years. The qualifications privileges and the disqualification measures of the members of the Legislative Council are by and large the same as are of the members of the Rajya Sabha. The power and functions of the state legislature extend to making laws on the subjects enumerated in the state list and the concurrent list. In case there is a law passed on a subject of the concurrent list by both the Parliament and the state legislature, the union law prevails and the state laws becomes void to the extent it goes contrary to the union law. A bill has to be passed by the state legislature before it is presented to the governor, who either gives assent or withholds the bill or sends it back to the originating house, or the governor can send the bill to the president for his consideration. The bill can be sent to the president for his consideration for the second time also. Within bracket Article 201, the Legislative Assembly has more financial powers. A money bill is presented, passed in the Assembly. The Council has only 14 days period to consider it. The executive powers of the Assembly are more than those of the Council. The Assembly can force the State Council of Ministers to resign by passing a vote of no confidence. As against the Legislative Council, the Legislative Assembly has special powers, at least in the following. 1. A motion of no confidence against the government in the state can only be introduced in the Vidhan Sabha. If it is passed by a majority vote, then the Chief Minister and his Council of Ministers must collectively resign. 2. A money bill can only be introduced in Vidhan Sabha. After it is passed in the Vidhan Sabha, it is sent to the Vidhan Parishad, when it can be kept for a maximum time of 14 days. Unless the Vidhan Parishad rejects it or 14 days lapse, or the suggestions made by the Vidhan Parishad are not acceptable to the Vidhan Sabha, the bill is considered passed. The budget of state is also presented in the Vidhan Sabha by the Finance Minister of the state in the name of the Governor of the state. 3. If the bill is passed by the Assembly, it is sent to the Council. After that, it is sent back to the Assembly, which sends the bill to the Council for the second time. If the Council does not pass it within 1 month, or the Assembly does not accept its recommendations for the second time, also it is regarded to have been passed by both the houses. There is a mechanism of joint meetings of the two houses to resolve the deadlock only on those bills originating in the Assembly and the Councils not agreeing to them, but not for these bills originating in the Council, the Assembly rejecting them. The state legislature works through its committees on the same manner as the parliamentary committees. There are almost the same sort of officials in the state legislature as in Parliament. There is some kind of similarity between the powers of the Parliament and the state legislature. A deadlock between the two houses of the Parliament takes place when the Council of States rejects the bill as proposed amendments are not acceptable to the House of the People, or does not pass the bill within 6 months. Here, the bill is considered to be passed. In case of the state legislature, the time period is 3 months. The provision for the joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament does not relate to the fact as to whether the bill originated first, but in the case of state legislature, the provision for the joint sitting relates to the fact that the bill has originated in the Assembly. Page 22.16, Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. Exercise number 1. Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha. A. In the matter of creating new All India services. B. In amending the Constitution. C. In the removal of the government. D. In making part motions. The correct answer is B, that is in amending the Constitution. Exercise 2. Which of the following statements regarding the residuary powers of legislation is correct in the context of India? 1. The Lok Sabha has exclusive power to make law on any matter not enumerated in the concurrent list. 2. Residuary power of legislation is laid down in Article 248 of the Constitution. 3. Residuary powers include the power of imposing taxes not mentioned in any of the three lists. 4. Article 248 of the Constitution provides for, among other things, the power to establish additional courts. A. 1 and 2, B. 1 and 3, C 2 and 4, D 2 and 3. The correct answer is D, that is 2 and 3. 2. Residuary power of legislation is laid down in Article 248 of the Constitution. 3. Residuary powers include the power of imposing taxes not mentioned in any of the three lists. Exercise 3. Which of the following are matters on which the Indian Parliament has the power to modify provisions of the constitutions by a simple majority? 1. Alteration of names, boundaries and areas of states. 2. Appointment of additional judges. 3. Abolition of the second chamber of a state legislature. 4. Administration of scheduled areas. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1, 2 and 4, C. 1, 3 and 4 and D. 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 3 and 4. 1. Alteration of names, boundaries and areas of states. 3. Abolition of the second chamber of a state legislature. 4. Administration of scheduled areas. Exercise 4. The area of a Lok Sabha constituency for the purpose of general election is determined by the A. Delimitation Commission, B. Election Commission of India, C. Census Commission and D. President. The correct answer is A, that is Delimitation Commission. Exercise 5. Which of the following regarding the Rajya Sabha are correct? A. 1. It is not subject to dissolution. 2. It has a term of 6 years. 3. 1/3 of the members retire after every 2 years. 4. Its members shall not be less than 25 years of age. The A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2, 3 and 4, C. 1 and 3 and B. 2 and 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1 and 3. It is not subject to dissolution. 3. 1/3 of members retire after every 2 years. 6. Exercise 6. Decision on question as to disqualifications of membership of either House of Parliament rests with the A. Election Commission, B. House of Parliament concerned, C. Chief Justice of India and D. President after consultation with the Election Commission. The correct answer is D, that is President after consultation with the Election Commission. Chapter 22. The Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. Exercises, page 22.17. Exercise number 7. Disqualification on grounds of defection for a member of Parliament will not apply. A. In case of a split in the original political party to which he is elected. B. If he has voluntarily given up his membership of a political party. C. If he abstains from voting in the House contrary to the direction of the political party. D. If a nominated member of a House joins a political party after 6 months. The correct answer is A. In case of a split in the original political party to which he is elected. Exercise 8. The Rajya Sabha has exclusive jurisdiction in A. Approving a proclamation of emergency, B. The creation and abolition of state, C. The election of the Vice President and D. Authorizing Parliament to legislate on a subject in the state list. D. Authorizing Parliament to legislate on a subject in the state list. Exercise 9. Given below are two statements, one labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as assertion reason R. Assertion A. The Constitution makes a distinction between the legislative power to levy a tax and the power to appropriate the proceeds of tax so levied. Reason R. There is a concurrent sphere in the matter of the tax legislation. In the context of the above two statements, which of the following is correct? A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. And D. A is false but R is true. The correct answer is B. Both A and R are true but R is not correct explanation of A. Exercise 10. According to the Constitution, the Lok Sabha must meet at least A. thrice each year with no more than 2 months between session. B. Twice each year with no more than 3 months between sessions. C. Twice each year with no more than 4 months between sessions. D. Twice each year with no more than 6 months between sessions. The correct answer is D, that is twice each year with no more than 6 months between sessions. 11. Exercise 11. According to the Constitution of India, a new All India service can be instituted with the initiative taken by A. More than 2/3 of the states, B. In the Interstate Council, C. The Lok Sabha, D. The Rajya Sabha. The correct answer is D, that is the Rajya Sabha. Exercise 12. On a particular day, 120 members of the Rajya Sabha were present for a meeting of the Rajya Sabha to vote on an ordinary bill already passed by the Lok Sabha. 75 members vote for the bill. In this context, which of the following possibilities is correct? A. The bill fails to pass because half the number of members of Rajya Sabha were not present and did not vote. B. The bill is declared passed and is sent to the President for approval. C. The bill falls because 2/3 of those who voted did not vote for it. D. The bill is not passed and has to go to the lower house for reconsideration. The correct answer is B. The bill is declared passed and is sent to the President for approval. Exercise 13. Which of the following parliamentary committees in India acting as a watchdog on department expenditure and irregularities? A. Estimates Committee, B. Committee on Public Undertakings, C. Public Accounts Committee, and D. Committees on Public Assurances. The correct answer is C. Public Accounts Committee. Page 22.8. Chapter 22. The Legislature in India, Parliament and State Legislatures. Exercise 18. Exercise 14. The quorum requirement in the Rajya Sabha is A. 25, B. 50, C. 100 and D. 126. The correct answer is A, that is 25. 15. The method of election of the members of the Rajya Sabha on the basis of proportional representation by the state legislature was borrowed from the A. Constitution of USA, B. Constitution of Australia, C. Constitution of South Africa, D. Constitution of Ireland. The correct answer is C. The Constitution of South Africa. 16. The chairman of the Rajya Sabha is elected by A. Elected members of Rajya Sabha, B. Members of Rajya Sabha, C. Elected members of Parliament, D. All members of Parliament. Correct answer is D, that is all members of Parliament. Exercise 17. The Lok Sabha Secretariat comes under direct supervision of the A. Ministry of Home Affairs, B. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, C. Prime Minister's Office, and D. Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The correct answer is D, that is Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Exercise 18. Which of the following statements holds good in respect of the Rajya Sabha? A. 1/3 of its members retire after every 3 years. B. 2/3 of its members retire after every 3 years. C. 2/3 of its members retire after every 2 years. D. 1/3 of its members retire after every 2 years. The correct answer is D. 1/3 of its members retire after every 2 years. Exercise 19. The joint session of the two houses of the Parliament is chaired by the A. Vice President of India, B. Speaker of the House of the People, C. Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and D. Prime Minister of India. The correct answer is B, that is Speaker of the House of the People. Exercise 20. Which of the following statements is not correct? A. Parliament consists of the President and the two houses known as the Council of States and the House of the People. B. The Council of States consists only of representatives of the states and union territories elected by the members of state legislative assemblies by proportionate representation. C. The House of the People consists mostly of representatives elected directly by the people on the basis of the population. D. The legislature of the state consists of the governor of state and one or two houses as the case may be. Correct answer is B. The Council of States consists only of representatives of the states and union territories elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies by proportionate representation. Exercise 21. In the Lok Sabha elections, who among the following can order recount of the votes polled if a candidate so demands? A. Chief Election Commission. B. Election Commission of India. C. Chief Electoral Office of the state. And D. Returning Officer of the constituency. The correct answer is B, that is Election Commission of India. Exercise 22. Consider the following statements regarding women members of parliament in the 13th Lok Sabha. 1. Their total number is less than 10% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha. 2. The minimum number of women members of parliament belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party. B. 3. No woman member of parliament belongs to Kerala. 4. The maximum number of women members of parliament belong to the West Bengal. Which of the above statements are correct? A. 2 and 4, B. 3 and 4, and C. 1, 2 and 3, and D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is D, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Their total number is less than 10% of the total strength of the Lok Sabha. 2. The maximum number of women members of parliament belong to the Bharatiya Janata Party. 3. No woman member of parliament belongs to Kerala. 4. The maximum number of women members of parliament belong to the West Bengal. Exercise 23. Consider the following statements. 1. Members of Rajya Sabha are not associated with the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Public Undertakings. 2. Railway Convention Committee is an ad hoc parliament committee. 3. Department of Women and Child Development is one of the 3 departments of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Which of these statements is correct? A. 2 only, B. 1 and 2, C. 1 and 3, and D. 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 2 only. Railway Convention Committee is an ad hoc parliament committee. Chapter 22, the legislatures in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Exercises page 22.19. Exercise 24. The states of the Indian Union can be recognized for their boundaries altered by A. The Union Parliament by a simple majority. B. The 2/3 majority of both the houses of Parliament. C. 2/3 majority of both the houses of Parliament and the consent of the legislature of the concerned states. D. An executive order of the Union government with the consent of the concerned state governments. The correct answer is A. The Union Parliament by a simple majority. Exercise 25. When can the Parliament legislate on a subject in the state list? A. If the Parliament passes a resolution to the effect in the national interest. B. If the Supreme Court grants necessary authority to the Parliament. C. If the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 majority declaring that the subject in the state list under consideration is of national importance. D. If the President issues an ordinance transferring the subject from the state list to the union concurrent list. The correct answer is C. If the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 majority declaring that the subject in the state list under consideration is of national importance. Exercise 26. Which of the following statement is not correct? The Rajya Sabha has jurisdiction in A. Approving a proclamation of emergency. B. The creation and abolition of states. C. The election of the Vice President. and D. Authorizing the Parliament to legislate on a subject in the state list. The election of the Vice President. C. Correct answer is C. The election of the Vice President. Exercise 27. What is the maximum period that shall not intervene between last sitting in one session and the date appointed for first sitting in the next session of each House of Parliament? A. 4 months, B. 5 months, C. 6 months, and D. 8 months. The correct answer is C. 6 months. Exercise 28. How much is the quorum of a House of Parliament in India? A. 1/2 of the membership of the House, B. 1/3 of the membership of the House, C. 2/3 of the membership of the House, D. 1/10 of the membership of the House. The correct answer is D, that is 1/10 of the membership of the House. Exercise 29. The Council of States is a House elected every 6 years, B. House elected every 5 years, C. House which is permanent, and D. House which can be dissolved. The correct answer is C. House which is permanent. Exercise 30. The duration of the Lok Sabha can be extended for the following period while a proclamation of emergency is in operation. A. Not exceeding 3 months, B. Not exceeding 9 months, C. Not exceeding 1 year at a time, and D. Not exceeding 2 years at a time. The correct answer is C, that is not exceeding 1 year at a time. Exercise 31. Which of the following official presides over the sittings of the House of the People? A. The President, B. The Vice President, C. The Chief Justice of India, D. The Speaker. The correct answer is D. The Speaker. Exercise 32. Which of the following is correct with regard to the Speaker? A. He has a vote as a member of the House and he votes when he likes. B. He has a vote but casts vote when there is equality of votes. C. He does not vote though he has a vote. D. He has a vote as a member as well as a speaker. The correct answer is B. He has a vote but casts vote when there is equality of votes. Page 22.20. Chapter 22. The Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislatures. Exercises. Exercise number 33. The Lok Sabha is more powerful than the Rajya Sabha in A. Electoral powers, B. Emergency powers, C. Amending powers, and D. Executive powers. The correct answer is D. Executive power. Exercise 34. The Rajya Sabha has more power in matters relating to 1. Article 249, 2. Article 312, 3. Article 248, 4. Article 311. The correct answer, the proposed answers are A. 1 and 2, B. 3 and 4, C. 1 and 3, D. 1 and 4. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 2. 1. Article 249, 2. Article 312. Exercise 35. Which of the following is not the power that the Council of States can fruitfully use? A. Vote of thanks, B. Adjournment motion, C. Asking supplementary questions, and D. Vote of no confidence. The correct answer is D, that is vote of no confidence. Exercise 36. The 12 members nominated by the President in the Cabinet of States are A. Those who excel in the fields of art only, B. Those who excel in the fields of literature only, C. Those who excel in the fields of science and social services, D. All of the above. The correct answer is D, that is all of the above. Exercise 37. Which sections of society has to be represented in the Lok Sabha as nominated by the President? A. Scheduled castes, B. Scheduled tribes, C. Other backward classes, D. Anglo-Indian community. The correct answer is D, that is Anglo-Indian community. Exercise 38. Where does the money bill originate first in the Indian Parliament? A. House of the People. B. Council of the States. C. Simultaneously in both the houses. And D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. House of the People. 39. Exercise 39. The Council of States can consider the money bill, and for this purpose it can keep the bill for A. 15 days, B. 14 days, C. 13 days, and D. 12 days. The correct answer is B, that is 14 days. Exercise 40. In case of the deadlock over any ordinary bill, which of the following steps is taken? A. Conference committee consisting of equal members of the two houses. B. Joint meetings of the two houses. C. Conciliation committee appointed by the President. D. Speaker resolves the deadlock. The correct answer is B, that is joint meeting of the two houses. Exercise 41. Which of the following statements is correct regarding the procedure of passing the bill in Parliament? A. A bill pending in Parliament shall not lapse because of the prorogation of the two houses of the Parliament. B. A bill pending in the Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by the Lok Sabha shall lapse on its dissolution. C. A bill pending in the Lok Sabha and pending in the Rajya Sabha shall not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. D. A bill pending in the Rajya Sabha which has been passed by the Lok Sabha shall not lapse on the adjournment of the Rajya Sabha. The correct answer is A. A bill pending in Parliament shall not lapse because of the prorogation of the two houses of Parliament. Exercise 42. Assertion A. A bill which consists a taxation clause besides clauses dealing with other matters may also be a money bill. Reason R. All bills dealing with taxes are money bills. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. And D. A is false, but R is true. The correct answer is B. That is, both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Exercise 43. A non-money bill passed by the Parliament is returned by the President to the Parliament for reconsideration. It is passed again by the Parliament without any change. Now, A. President can again withhold the assent. B. Bill will automatically lapse. C. Bill will be referred to the Supreme Court. And D. President will give his consent. The correct answer is D. President will give his consent. Exercise 44. Chapter 22, the legislatures in India, Parliament and state legislatures, exercises, page 22.21, exercise number 44. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct code. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 space list 2. Under list 1 as head, in the vertical column, serial number A, division, serial number B, guillotine, and serial number C, motion, and serial number D, point of order. Under list 2 as head, in the vertical column, again serial number A1. I repeat, exercise 44, match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct code. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 and list 2. List 1 space list 2. Under list 1 as head, in the vertical column, again serial number, capital A, division, capital B, guillotine, capital C, motion, and capital D, point of order. Under the head, list 2, again serial number, in the vertical column, again serial number 1 brings the debate to a close. Again serial number 2, formal proposal made by a member to the House. Again serial number 3 relates to interpretation, enforcement of the rules procedure of constitution. I repeat, 3 relates to interpretation, enforcement of the rules procedure or constitution. 4 concludes discussion on the demand for grants. 5. Mode of arriving at a decision. The codes are code in the horizontal column. The heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under capital A as head, against in the vertical column against serial number A4, B5, C5 and D4. Under the head capital B in the vertical column against serial number A5, B4, C4 and D5. Under capital C under the head capital C in the vertical column against serial number A1, B1, C2 and D2. Under the head capital T in the vertical column against serial number A2, B3, C3 and D1. The correct answer is C, that is under capital A, division. 5, that is mode of arriving at a decision. Capital B, under the head capital B, guillotine. 4, that is concludes discussion on the demand for grants. C, the capital C, under the head capital C, motion. 2, that is formal proposal made by member to the House. Under the head capital D, point of order. 3, that is relates to interpretation enforcement of the rules, procedure or constitution. Exercise 45. Assertion A. Money bills originate only in the lower house of parliament. Reason R. The lower house of the parliament is a popularly elected body. A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. The correct answer is A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 46. The report of Public Accounts Committee is presented in the A. Prime Minister, B. Finance Minister, C. President and D. Lok Sabha. The correct answer is D. Lok Sabha. Exercise 47. Which of the following is not the means of enforcing responsibility upon the Cabinet? A. Questioning ministers. B. Vote of censure. C. Call attention motion. D. No confidence motion. The correct answer is C, that is call attention motion. Exercise 48. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? 1. Call attention motion, to draw attention of the minister on a matter of urgent public importance. 2. Adjournment motion, to adjourn the House before the expiry of the time. 3. Privilege motion, to draw attention of the Speaker towards incorrect, incomplete answer by a minister. 4. Cut motion, to move a proposal to produce expenditure in the budget proposals. A. 1, 2, 3 and 4. B. 1, 2 and 4. C. 1 and 3. D. 2 and 3. The correct answer is B, that is 1, 2 and 4. 1. Call attention motion, to draw attention of the minister on a matter of urgent public importance. 2. Adjournment motion, to adjourn the House before the expiry of the time. And 4. Cut motion, to move a proposal to reduce expenditure in the budget proposals. Exercise 49. According to the parliamentary procedure, the term guillotine within inverted comma means that the Speaker A. stops the business on hand and puts the matter to vote. B. Adjourns the House before expiry of the time. C. Disallows voting on a motion. And D. Reprimands a member for misbehavior. The correct answer is A. Stops the business on hand and puts the matter to vote. Exercise 50. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1, space list 2. Under the head list 1 in the vertical column against serial number capital A, select committee, capital B, public accounts, capital C, business advisory committee, capital D, estimate committee. Under the head list 2 in the vertical column against serial number 1, against serial number 1 allocates time for discussion on various items. Serial number 2 considers the question of contempt of the House. Serial number 3 examines whether government money is spent prudently. Serial number 4 scrutinizes a bill clause by a bill, scrutinizes a bill clause by clause and suggests changes. 5 examines departmental expenditure in the budget. The code in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital T. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column, again serial number A4, B3, C4 and D3. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column, again serial number A3, B4, C3 and D4. Under serial number capital C, in the vertical column, again serial number A1, B1, C5 and D5. Under serial number capital D, again serial number under the head capital D, again serial number in the vertical column, again serial number A5, B5, C2 and D2. The correct answer is A. That is under the head capital A, Select Committee. 4, that is scrutinizes a bill clause by clause and suggests changes. Under the head capital B, that is Public Accounts Committee. 3, that is examines whether government money is spent prudently. Under the head capital C, that is Business Advisory Committee. 1, that is allocates time for discussion on various items. Under the head capital D, 5, capital D Estimate Committee. 5 means examines departmental expenditure in the budget. Page 22.22. Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Exercise 51. Which one of the following statements related to money bills is not correct? A, it cannot be introduced in the Council of States. B, if any question arises whether the bill is money bill or not, the decision of the Lok Sabha Speaker is final. C, in case of a deadlock over a money bill, the President can summon a joint sitting of Parliament. D, a money bill cannot be introduced except on the recommendation of the President. The correct answer is C, that is in case of a deadlock over a money bill, the President can summon a joint sitting of Parliament. The correct answer is C, that is in case of a deadlock over a money bill, the President can summon a joint sitting of Parliament. Exercise 52. Who among the following decides whether a bill is a money bill? A, the Finance Minister. B, the Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. C, the President of India. D, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The correct answer is D, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Exercise 53. Vote on account means A proposal passed by Rajya Sabha on account. B, a proposal submitted by Finance Minister before presenting the budget. C, to bring a proposal related to the speech of the President before the joint session of the Parliament. D, if the budget is not passed before 1st April, the Parliament is authorized to sanction any grant in advance to meet the expense. The correct answer is D. If the budget is not passed before 1st April, the Parliament is authorized to sanction any grant in advance to meet the expenses. Exercise 54. Which of the following pairs is not correctly matched? A, Committee on Petitions, Standing Committee to Inquire. B, Committee on Subordinate Government Assurance, Standing Committee to Scrutinize. C, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, Standing Committee to Inquire. D, Select or Joint Committee on Bills, Ad hoc Committee. The correct answer is C, Committee on Subordinate Legislation, Standing Committee to Inquire. Exercise 55. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 space list 2. Under the head list 1 in the vertical column, again serial number capital A, cart motion. Serial number capital B, guillotine. Serial number capital C, division. Serial number capital D, point of order. Under list 2 as head, in the vertical column again serial number 1, mode of arriving at a decision. Serial number 2, demand to reduce allocation of funds in the budget. Serial number 3, bring debate to a close. And serial number 4, put an end to a day's work. And serial number 5, request for interpretation of enforcement of rules of procedure or constitution. Quote, in the horizontal column in the horizontal column the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B5, C2, D5. Under capital B as head in the vertical column against serial number A3, B1, C1 and D3. Under the head capital C in the vertical column against serial number A1, B4, C4 and D1. Under the head capital D against serial number A5, B2, C5 and D2. The correct answer is A. That is under serial number capital A, cut motion. 2, demand to reduce allocation of funds in the budget. Under capital B, guillotine. 3, that is bring debate to a close. Under capital C, division. I repeat exercise number 55. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, the head list 1, space list 2. Under the head list 1, in the vertical column against serial number A, capital A, cut motion, serial number capital B, guillotine, serial number capital C, division, serial number capital D, point of order. Under the head list 2, against serial number 1, mode of arriving at a decision. Against serial number 2, demand to reduce allocation of funds in the budget. Against serial number 3, bring debate to a close. Against serial number 4, put an end to a day's work. Against serial number 5, request for interpretation or enforcement of rules of procedure or constitution. Code, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B5, C2, D5. Under the head capital B against the serial number A3, B1, C1 and D3. Under the head capital C against serial number A1, B4, C4 and D1. Under the head capital D in the vertical column against serial number A5, B2, C5 and D2. The correct answer is A. That is under the head capital A, cut motion. 2, that is demand to reduce allocation of funds in the budget. Under capital B, guillotine. 3, that is bring debate to a close. Under the head capital C, division. 1, that is mode of arriving at a decision. Under the head capital D, point of order. 5, that is request for interpretation or enforcement of rules of procedure or constitution. Exercise 56. The bill implies A draft legislative proposal, B a draft executive order, C a draft ordinance and D a draft treaty. The correct answer is A draft legislative proposal. Exercise 57. The government bill means A bill introduced in Lok Sabha. B a bill introduced by any member of the parliament who is not a member. C a bill introduced by a minister in the Lok Sabha. D a bill introduced by a minister in any of the house of the parliament. The correct answer is D, that is a bill introduced by a minister in any of the house of the parliament. Exercise 58. Consider the following with regard to the money bill. 1. Imposition, abolition, regulation of any tax. 2. Borrowings and lendings. 3. Income and expenditure. Which of the above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1, 2, 3 only. D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 2, 3 only. 1. Imposition, abolition, regulation of any tax. 2. Borrowings and lendings. 3. Income and expenditure. Chapter 22. The legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Exercise 59. Whose prior permission is required before the money bill is introduced? And page 22.23. Exercise 59. Whose prior permission is required before the money bill is introduced in the Lok Sabha? A. Speaker of the Lok Sabha. B. Prime Minister. C. Finance Minister. D. President of India. The correct answer is D. President of India. Exercise 60. Assertion A. All financial bills are not money bills. Reason R. Only those financial bills are money bills which are certified so by the Speaker. A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. B. A and R are true. R is not the explanation of A. C. A is true. R is false. D. A is false. R is true. The correct answer is B. That is A and R are true. R is not the explanation of A. Exercise 61. Assertion A. A money bill is first introduced in the Lok Sabha. As a reason R. A finance bill is introduced with the prior permission of the President. A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of R. B. A and R are true, but R is not the explanation of A. C. A is true. True. R is false. D. A is false. R is true. The correct answer is B. That is A and R are true. A and R are true, but R is not the explanation of A. Exercise 62. The finance bill has to be considered and passed by the Parliament and assented to by the President within A. 60 days, B. 30 days, C. 45 days, and D. 75 days. The correct answer is D, that is 75 days. Exercise 63. Which of the following is described as the start question? A. Questions which are answered in a written form. B. Questions which pertain to urgent public matters. C. Questions which are answered orally. D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. Questions which are answered orally. Exercise 64. Question hour refers to A. The first hour of the sitting in both houses. B. The second hour of the sitting. C. The last hour of the sitting. D. The lunch hour of the sitting. The correct answer is A. The first hour of the sitting in both the houses. Exercise 65. 0 hour in the Parliament starts at A. 11 before noon. B. 12 noon. C. 1 in the afternoon. And D. Last hour of the sitting. The correct answer is B. That is 12 noon. Exercise 66. The ordinance refers to A. The executive order passed by the Parliament. B. The executive order issued by the President. C. The decision made by the Supreme Court. D. The ruling given by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The correct answer is B. The executive order issued by the President. Exercise 67. Motion as a proposal can be initiated with the consent of A. Speaker of the Lok Sabha. B. Prime Minister. C. Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs. And D. President. The correct answer is A. Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Exercise 68. Adjournment sine die means A. Adjournment of the House for the remaining day. B. Adjournment without any definite date for the next sitting. C. Adjournment till the next day. D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. Adjournment without any definite date for the next sitting. Exercise 69. Censure motion is a type of adjournment motion. B. Type of eliciting any information. B. Type of no confidence motion. And D. Type of no day yet named motion. The correct answer is A, that is type of adjournment motion. Page 22.24. Chapter 22, the legislature in India, Parliament and the state legislatures. Exercise 70. What is the procedure required to be followed for the abolition of an existing legislative council in a state? 1. The Rajya Sabha must pass a resolution to that effect. 2. The State Legislative Assembly must pass a resolution to that effect by a special majority as prescribed in the Constitution. 3. Parliament must enact a law abolishing the Legislative Council. 4. The State Legislative Assembly must pass a resolution with ordinary majority as in the case of a bill. A. 1 and 2. B. 2 and 3. C. 1 and 3. And D. 1 and 4. The correct answer is B. That is 2 and 3. 2. The State Legislative Assembly must pass a resolution to that effect by a special majority as prescribed in the Constitution. 3. Parliament must enact a law abolishing the Legislative Council. Exercise 71. What is the maximum permissible strength of the Legislative Assembly within bracket Vidhan Sabha of any state? A. 400 members. B. 425 members. C. 500 members. D. 545 members. The correct answer is C, that is 500 members. Exercise 72. The quorum to hold a meeting of a house of the state legislature shall be A. 30 members or 1/10 of total membership, whichever is less. B. 1/2 of the total membership of the house. C. 1/3 of the total membership of the house. D. 10 members or 1/10 of total membership, whichever is more. D. Correct answer is D. 10 members or 1/10 of the total membership, whichever is more. Exercise 73. The Legislative Council of a state can be abolished or created by the A. President of India on the recommendation of the Parliament. B. Legislative Assembly of the state concerned. C. Parliament through a simple legislation. D. Parliament on the recommendation of the Parliament on the recommendation of the Legislative Assembly of the state concerned. The correct answer is D. Parliament on the recommendation of the Legislative Assembly of the state concerned. Exercise 74. Which of the following procedure is valid for passing a constitutional amendment seeking abolition of the Vidhan Parishad? A. Resolution in the Rajya Sabha and consent of each house of the Parliament by majority of the members present and voting. B. Resolution in the Vidhan Sabha by a majority of the total membership of the House and the majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of the House of the Parliament by the majority of the members present and voting. C. Resolution in either House of the Parliament and consent of each House of Parliament by absolute majority of the whole House, coupled with 2/3 majority of members present and voting. D. Resolution in the Vidhan Parishad and consent of the Vidhan Sabha by simple majority followed by consent of the each House of the Parliament by simple majority. The correct answer is B, that is resolution in the Vidhan Sabha by a majority of the total membership of the House and the majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of the House of the Parliament by the majority of members present, 2/3 of the members of the House of the Parliament by the majority of the members present and voting. Exercise 75. The upper chamber of the state legislature besides other members consists of 1/12 elected by teachers, electorate, 1/3 elected by municipalities, 1/12 elected by registered graduates. B. 1/12 elected by registered graduates, 1/12 elected by women, 1/3 elected by trade unions and cooperative institutions. C. 1/12 elected by women, 1/12 elected by municipalities and other local bodies, 1/3 elected by teachers electorate. D. 1/3 directly elected by the people, 1/12 elected by registered graduates, 1/12 elected by cooperative societies, women's organizations and other cooperative bodies. The correct answer is A. There is 1/12 elected by teachers electorate, 1/3 elected by municipalities, 1/12 elected by registered graduates. Exercise 76. The Legislative Council in a state is in India. The Legislative Council in a state in India can be created or abolished by the A. President on the recommendation of a governor of the state. B. The Parliament. C. The Parliament after the State Assembly passes a resolution to that effect. D. Governor of the state on recommendation of the Council of Ministers. The correct answer is C. The Parliament after the State Assembly passes a resolution to that effect. Chapter 22, the Legislature in India, Parliament and the State Legislature. Exercises, page 22.25. Exercise 77. Consider the following statements. 1. Under Article 169 of the Constitution of India, Parliament may by law provide for the abolition of the Legislative Council of a state having such a council, or the creation of such council in a state having no such council. For this, the only condition is that the Legislative Assembly must have passed a resolution to the effect by a majority of the total membership of the Assembly. 2. Under Articles 171 of the Constitution of India, the total number of members in the Legislative Council of a state having such a council shall not exceed 1/2 of the total number of members in the Legislative Assembly of that state. Which of the statements given above is are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both A 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is D, that is neither 1 and 2. Exercise 78. Which of the following have a bicameral legislature in the states? A. Bihar, West Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh. B. Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir. C. Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, Karnataka. D. Karnataka, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. The correct answer is B, that is Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Bihar, Jammu and Kashmir. Exercise 79. The maximum strength of the Legislative Council has to be A. 1/4 of the Legislative Assembly. B. 1/3 of the Legislative Assembly. C. 1/2 of the Legislative Assembly. And D. 1/5 of the Legislative Assembly. The correct answer is B, that is 1/3 of the Legislative Assembly. Exercise 80. The duration of the Legislative Council is A. 5 years, B. 4 years, C. 6 years, D. indissoluble. Exercise 81. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 and list 2. Under the head list 1 in the vertical column, against serial number capital A. Bihar, capital B. Karnataka, capital C. Maharashtra, capital D. Jammu and Kashmir. Against the head, under the head list 2, against the in the vertical column, against serial number 1 36, serial number 2 63, serial number 3 75, serial number 4 78. Fourth, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under the head capital A in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B1, C3, D4. Under the head capital B, against serial number A3, B4, C2 and D1. Under the head capital C in the vertical column, against serial number A4, B3, C4 and D2. Under the head capital D in the vertical column, against serial number A1, B2, C1 and D3. The correct answer is C, that is under the head capital A, Bihar. C, under the head A, that is Bihar. No. Under the head capital A is Bihar. 3, that is 75. Under the head capital B, Karnataka. 2, that is 63. Under the head capital C, Maharashtra. 4, that is 78. 4, that is 78. Under the head capital D, Jammu and Kashmir. 1, that is 36. Exercise 82. The maximum minimum number of legislative assembly members has to be A. 560, B. 450, C. 670 and D. 340. The correct answer is A. Maximum 500, minimum 60. Exercise 83. Consider the following statements. 1. The governor of a state is a part of the state legislature. He addresses the legislature and can send messages to it. 2. The legislative council cannot delay the non-money bill more than 6 months. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 only. B. Two only. C. One and two. And D. None of the above. The correct answer is A. That is one only. One means the governor of a state is a part of the state legislature. He addresses the legislature and can send messages to it. Exercise 84. When a bill is sent by the governor to the president, he does not have the following power. A. He can refuse the assent. B. He can give his assent. C. He can withhold the assent. And D. He can send the bill back to the state legislature. The correct answer is C. He can withhold the assent. The exercise 85. The Legislative Council of the state consists of A. 1/3 members elected by the legislative assemblies, 1/3 elected by local bodies, one half by graduates, 1/12 by teachers, 1/6 nominated by the government. The correct answer B. 1/2 elected by the legislative assembly and 1/2 by the municipalities. C. 1/2 elected by the municipalities, 1/4 elected by graduates, 1/4 elected by the legislative assembly. D. All the members are indirectly elected by the local bodies. The correct answer is A. 1/3 members elected by the legislative assemblies, 1/3 elected by local bodies, 1/2 by graduates, 1/12 by teachers, and 1/6 nominated by the governor. Page 22.26. Chapter 22. The Legislature in India, Parliament and State Legislature. Exercises. Exercise number 86. The nominated members of the Legislative Council are from A. Art, Literature, Science, Social Service, Cooperative Movement. B. Cooperative Movement, Bhudan Movement, Literature, Art, Science. C. Social Service, Literature, Art, Science, Feminist Movement. D. Religion, Art, Culture, Literature, Science. The correct answer is A. Correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. Art, Literature, Science, Social Service, Cooperative Movement. Exercise 87. The duration of the Legislative Assembly is A. 4 years extendable to 1 year. B. 5 years. C. 3 years extendable to 2 years. And D. 2.5 years extendable to another 2.5 years. The correct answer is B. That is 5 years. Exercise 88. Which of the following is exclusively Lok Sabha committee? A. Committee on Public Undertaking. B. Committee in Public Accounts. C. Committee on Estimates. And D. Committee on Empowerment of Women. The correct answer is C. Committee on Estimates. Exercise 89. The Committee on Public Undertakings consists of which of the following members? A. 15 elected by the Lok Sabha and 15 elected by the Rajya Sabha. B. 15 elected by the Lok Sabha and 7 elected by the Rajya Sabha. C. 7 elected by the Lok Sabha and 15 elected by the Rajya Sabha. D. 7 elected by the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The correct answer is B. 15 elected by the Lok Sabha and 7 elected by the Rajya Sabha. Exercise 90. The Committee on Estimate, consisting of 30 members, is constituted by A. The Lok Sabha only. B. The Rajya Sabha only. C. Both the houses of the Parliament. And D. The states' legislatures. The correct answer is A. The Lok Sabha only. Exercise 91. Which of the following is are provided by Article 249 of the Constitution of India? 1. Residuary powers of legislation. 2. Powers of the Parliament to legislate with respect to a matter in the state list in the national interest. 3. Legislation for giving effect to international agreements. A. 1 only. B. 1 and 2. C. 2 and 3. And D. 2 only. The correct answer is D. That is 2 only. Powers of the Parliament to legislate with respect to a matter in the state list in the national interest. Exercise 92. The issue whether a commitment made by a minister on the floor of the House has been fulfilled or not is decided by the A. Consultative committee attached to the ministry concerned, B. Select committee dealing with the ministry concerned, C. Political affairs committees of the Union Cabinet, and D. Committee on Public Assurances. The correct answer is D, that is Committee on Public Assurances. Exercise 93. Consider the following bills. 1. Bills for the formation of new state or reorganization of state boundaries. 2. Money bills. 3. State bills imposing restrictions upon the freedom of trade. 4. Bills involving expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India. According to the Constitution of India, for introduction of which of these bills previous sanction or recommendation of the President of India is required? A. 1 only, B. 2 and 3, C. 1, 2 and 3, and D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. That is 1. Bills for the formation of new state or reorganization of state boundaries. 2. Money bills, and 3. State bills imposing restrictions upon the freedom of trade. Exercise 94. The members of which of the following standing committee are chosen exclusively for the members of the Lok Sabha? A. Public Accounts Committee, B. Committee on Estimates, C. Committee on Public Undertakings, and D. Committee on Delegated Legislation. The correct answer is B, that is Committee on Estimates. Exercise 95. Which will follow if I repeat, exercise 95. What will follow if a money bill is substantially amended by the Rajya Sabha? A. The Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendations of the Rajya Sabha. B. The Lok Sabha cannot consider the bill further. C. The Lok Sabha may send the bill to the Rajya Sabha for reconsideration. D. The President may call a joint meeting to passing the bill. The correct answer is A. The Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill, accepting or not accepting the recommendations of the Rajya Sabha. Exercise 96. Which of the following committees is not a standing committee of the Parliament? A. Public Accounts Committee, B. Estimates Committee, C. Committees on Public Undertaking, and D. Consultative Committee to the Ministry of Finance. Exercise 97. The correct answer is D, that is Consultative Committee to the Ministry of Finance. Exercise 97. Which of the following expenditures shall be charged on the Consolidated Fund of India? 1. The emoluments and allowances of the President and other expenditures relating to this office. 2. The emoluments and allowances of the Prime Minister and the other expenditure relating to this office. 3. The salaries and allowances of the Chairman and the Deputy Chairman of the Council of States. 4. The salaries and allowances of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2, 3 and 4, C. 1, 3 and 4, and D. 1, 2 and 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 3 and 4. 1. The emoluments and allowances of the President and other expenditures relating to this office. 3. The salaries and allowances of the Chairman and the Deputy Chairman of the Council of States. 4. The salaries and allowances of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 2, 3 and 4, C. 1, 3 and 4, and D. 1, 2 and 4. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 3 and 4. 1 means the emoluments and allowances of the President and other expenditures relating to this office. 3. The salaries and allowances of the Chairman and the Deputy Chairman of the Council of States. 4. The salaries and allowances of the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Exercise 98. Match list 1 with list 2. In the horizontal column, under the head list, in the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 space list 2. Under the head list 1, in the vertical column, against serial number capital A, vote on account, capital B, vote on credit, against capital C, supplementary grants, capital D, excess demand for grants. Under the head list 2, in the vertical column, against serial number 1, lump sum money granted without detailed estimates. Against serial number 2, additional expenditure not covered in the approved budget. Against serial number 3, amount spent in excess demand for grants. Serial number 4, grants in advance pending budgetary approval. Fourth, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column, against serial number A, 1, B, 1, under the serial number capital A, in the vertical column, against serial number A1, B1, C4 and D4. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column, against serial number A4, B4, C1, D1. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column, against serial number A3, B2, C2 and D3. Under the head capital D, against serial number A2, B3, C3 and D2. The correct answer is C, that is under the head capital A, vote on accounts. 4, that is grants in advance pending budgetary approval. Under the head capital B, vote on credit. 1, that is lump sum money granted without detailed estimates. Under the head capital C, supplementary grants. 2, that is additional expenditure not covered in the approved budget. Under the head capital D, excess demand for grants. 3, that is amount spent in excess demand for grants. Exercise 99. What percentage of the member of the Legislative Council is indirectly elected and what percentage is nominated? A, 4 by 6 and 2 by 6. B, 5 by 6 and 1 by 6. C, 3 by 6 and 3 by 6. And D, 2 by 6 and 4 by 6. The correct answer is D, that is 2 by 6 and 4 by 6. Exercise 100. Match list 1 with list 2 in relation to the strength of the Legislative Council. In the horizontal column, the heads are list 1 and space list 2. Under the head list 1, in the vertical column, against serial number capital A, Uttar Pradesh, capital B, Maharashtra, capital C, Bihar, capital D, Andhra Pradesh. Under the head list 2, against the serial number 1, 90, serial number 2, 108, serial number 3, 78, serial number 4, 75. 4. In the horizontal column, the heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column, against serial number A2, B2, C2, D2. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column, against serial number A3, B3, C1, D1. Under the head capital C, against Bihar, in the vertical column, serial number A1, B4, C3 and D4. Under the serial number capital D, in the vertical column, again in the vertical column, that is, I repeat, code, the correct answer is repeated. Under the head capital A, that is Uttar Pradesh. 2, that is 108. Under the head capital B, Maharashtra. 3, that is 78. Under the head capital C, Bihar. 4, that is 75. Under the head capital D, that is Andhra Pradesh. 1, that is 90.